Now we know it was discovered back in 1862 by Juno and John Knox. Well, it wasn't explored until 5 years later in 1867. And the first explorers of this cave were 12 young women from the Springfield Athletics Club. Now they had been in many caves in the area before, but they were never the first to explore a cave until this one. And they wanted every future generation to know that they were the first to explore this cave. So they all left their names in the cave wall back in the auditorium using soot from their lanterns. Now we're going to drive past those first explorers' names on the way to our next stop, and I'll point it out to y'all. Sound good? All right, let's go see that minor act of vandalism.
Understand how soot
Yeah.
there's water running down through here. Look at the walls. There's a hole that's covered.
Got some other things to see. Yeah, that is scary.
Long ways down, huh, buddy? I got a rope if you want to go down there. I'll lower you down over the rail.
Because we're not in a canoe.
What'd you say?
Still 15 feet down.
Now we get to wave back to these guys as we went through. Doesn't feel as cool as I thought it would.
It's nice down right up there. Got names on it. Yeah.
February 27th.
And passenger side, watch your head. You got a low ceiling.
Oh, your turn.
That's our turn.
Yeah.
You're fine. Like I said, it's going to hit there in 4 digits.
Just lean over a little bit like this, you'll be fine.
Reach over and go in.
Not yet, but.
All right, time for a history lesson. Do y'all know what was going on Now, caves have a couple of resources valuable to the military, but the most important one was bat guano. Does everybody know what bat guano is? Yeah, bat poop. Hey, no naughty words. Here's what they would do with that bat guano. They would take a leaching vat like this one, fill it up with that bat guano, and then they would pour water over it. Now, what this is doing is it's leaching out the nitrates that naturally occur in that guano, and these nitrates will fill up this bucket with a watery slurry, and they would pour that in the pot, boil it down until there's nothing left, until all the water has evaporated, and what's left behind is white crystals known as potassium nitrate.
There you go.
And you take your potassium nitrate crystals, mix it with sulfur and ash. Do you all know what that makes?
Gunpowder.
Gunpowder, yeah. I had to explain one time that no, that did not make mascara. The Civil War, the military, they weren't looking for mascara at the time. But yeah, so that's why the military needed caves. They needed gunpowder from bat guano. And John Knox knew about this, and he did not want to lose his property to the military. So he kept his cave a secret for 5 years until the Civil War had ended, and that's when the girls explored it. And Juno didn't snitch on him. Who's a good dog? Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history of the auditorium. So in the 1920s, this place became everyone's favorite and a legal speakeasy. So it ran for about 3 years before one moonshiner shot his brother-in-law, and the sheriff's department had to step in and shut it all down. Now jump ahead to the 1960s, and they built this stage right here, and it became a music broadcasting stage, mostly country music like Buck Owens and the Buckaroos. And on the ceiling up here, you can still see the original stage lights from those days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they go all the way around. So yeah, there is a lot of rich history to the auditorium. But we're going to jump back to the science side of things, and at our next stop, we'll talk about what a breakdown is in a cave and why it happens.
What she said in the return.
Wild's over there talking to me.
To all you guys. And love.
Good job. Oh, this was really good.
Whoa. Watch your hand.
Yeah, look at there.
Alright, so this is the breakdown, and breakdown just refers to the ceiling collapsing inside a cave, and the ceiling in here has collapsed 3 times. Now don't worry, there won't be any live demonstrations today. Now if you look up, you can see those 3 ledges where the ceiling broke off. And the reason it broke off is because our flood levels would get so high in here that it would penetrate through the ceiling. And we know how groundwater and limestone are going to react, and over time it would cause it to collapse like this. And we know this was a very early event in the cave's life. This did not happen recently, because there are stalagmites growing on top of the breakdown. And how old are some of the stalagmites
Really old.
Really old. So anything that's beneath them has to be even older than they are, making the breakdown extremely old. Also, this stalagmite looks like a Cheeto. Not important, but I like to point it out. Now, we don't fear that it's going to collapse in here again because our flood levels do not reach the ceiling in here anymore. So we're all safe. Everyone feels safe. Well, if you don't feel safe yet, we also have this column holding up the whole ceiling. I'm just kidding. It's not holding up the ceiling. It's just a column. And this all right here, we're about to go underneath this deathly looking archway. That's all calcified together, actually. So it's like cemented together up there. So we'll be all good. Yeah. So, past this archway, we're going to have the highest concentration of stalactites on the ceiling. So you want to look up at that as we're driving by. And after that, I'll show you all a little demonstration about our early explorers.
This all looks like a far-off view, like ancient cave, like people who built their homes
And if y'all
in,
been getting
like,
drift
cliffs.
on,
On
that's
cliffs,
y'all's
like
free
the cliff
souvenir to take
dwellings.
home.
It looks like miniature. Oh, water.
You get free water.
Take a trip home.
Open your mouth and look up.
So we managed to stop the trailer right here.
There you go.
On the back side.
Look at all the souvenirs you get.
Did he okay? Well, I did.
Oh, man.
What the heck?
It got me.
Look at the that is so cool looking.
Oh, cool, Bubba.
Alright. Now, I'm going to turn the lights off and it's going to get really dark in here again. If we can hold off on any flash photography for just a minute. Alright, now if everyone can see me. I'm just kidding. Over here I have a candle lantern. It's just going to be a tin can with the handle and a candle poking out the bottom of it. And this is something similar to what our first explorers would have used on their journeys through here. And this puts out pretty good light for the 1860s, I'd say. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Now, I'm going to show you all the path that our original explorers would have taken to get down to the cave. Don't worry, I'll be back.
Don't worry, I'll be back.
Now,